What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Power Gamers Tactics Room. I'm your host, Bilbron Battle Master. So today we're having another episode of my character build series, where I'm presenting to you Bilbron Battle Master. Had a lot of fun putting this guy together. As a caster, I look at this character, even as a fighter, and I'm thinking, looks kind of fun to play. So before we dive in, I want to mention I got a Patreon. Check it out if you want to support the channel. And that said, let's take a look. So I've put the first level character sheet on the screen and we can see the basic setup. Variant human, and our stats are Strength 8, Dex 16, Con 16, Intelligence 8, Wisdom 10, and Charisma 14. We are going with Chainmail for Armor Class 16, and we are using for weapons the Rapier, the Longbow, and the Net. Yes, we are going to be a net fighter. So we have taken Martial Adept as our feat, which will give us Quick Toss and Maneuvering Attack, and we are taking the Superior Technique Fighting Style to add Rally, and we, from both of these, have a total of 2d6 superiority dice to begin. So we're Battle Masters at first level, baby. We have got 3 maneuvers, we've got 2 superiority dice, and we are going to have a pretty strong impact for a first level fighter. Most people don't even know which end of the sword to grab at this point, and we are rolling out 3 maneuvers. So we will favor ranged attacks as we're building an archer here. Obviously I dumped Dex, so we have to use a Dex-based build. I did consider melee, but archery just has too much resonance with net fighting to ignore. I actually went through a whole iteration of this character as a halberd user, and then finally at the last minute when I was looking for synergies, I was just like, wow, that just really doesn't work as well as archery. So I made the change. I did consider crossbow expert here because that's the standard progression. And yes, not taking this now will reduce our DPR levels 1 through 6. However, I am willing to sacrifice the low level extra damage for maneuvers. 2 extra maneuvers throughout my career is sneaky good and has really strong marginal benefit for the Battle Master, and I will talk about this more when we get to level 7 and discuss specifically how my build stacks up with the standard build. We do plan to use Rally to start the day with a 9-hour long rest so that we can give 2 allies an additional 5.5 temporary hit points each, and we will dump any remaining superiority die into Rally immediately prior to any short rest. This will nearly double the Wizards and Rogues hit points at first level, although this presumes there is no temporary hit point clog from other party members. There are several new classes that use temporary hit points, and if so, we can always take a different maneuver. This also presumes that the DM is adhering to the rules as written, but this is table dependent. Many people have told me that their DM wouldn't allow it, or they themselves as DMs wouldn't allow it. I personally go by the rules as written. And we can use Quick Toss for a bonus action attack with a net. Now we must attack at disadvantage due to the range. So we are probably not going to be doing it too much at first level, unless our enemy's AC is low, or we're feeling desperate or lucky. And a net has a devastating combat effect and is difficult to escape. It confers attacks at disadvantage, you attack them at advantage, and they can't move, and to burst it they need to commit an action and either beat a DC 10 escape check or destroy the net with an AC of 10, and they require slashing damage. But don't forget, it's at disadvantage, so essentially a target of 15, and so not an automatic escape whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of good use out of our net. We're not that great at it yet, but we're only first level. I promise we'll get better. And then of course we will use maneuvering attack situationally. I did consider trip attack or menacing attack here, but the fact is that we use a net, and a net has a superior effect to either of those. That left us room for maneuvering attack, and I'm very happy to add it because I think it's one of the most powerful maneuvers available to Battle Masters, and it's going to be nice to be able to roll that out from level 1. So now we move to level 2, and you see why I put our charisma at 14. It wasn't just to get a really good rally. We are going with a level of sorcerer here, specifically Divine Soul. This is going to add Favored by the Gods once per short rest, we will get 4 cantrips, which I have chosen Mind Sliver, Minor Illusion, Dancing Lights, and Mold Earth, and we get 2 spell slots that we can cast from Bless, Shield, or Expeditious Retreat, and I presume that we have made enough money at this point to buy a set of Splint Mail to bring our AC to 17. So we are only going to take a 1-level dip so that we can retain our extra attack progression at a reasonable level. I considered Clockwork Soul, and I actually went through an iteration of the build as Clockwork Soul, because as a net specialist I was attracted to Restore Balance, which could eliminate the disadvantage of the net attack. However, as I looked more at the mechanics, I noticed that the Divine Soul adds that 2d4 to a whole bunch of stuff, and this is mathematically the same as eliminating disadvantage. Favored by the Gods is more versatile than Restore Balance and applies to more rolls, and notably for us, when we get Crossbow Expert to eliminate the net range penalty, at that point, Restore Balance is redundant for us, but Favored by the Gods is still elite. Favored by the Gods bump to saves is appreciated defensively because, we're fighters, so we have a big hole in the Wisdom save department. And critically, Favored by the Gods is applied after the roll only if we miss, unlike Restore Balance, which you need to proc before you make the attack. Honestly, Favored by the Gods is much like an early precision attack that can stack with Quick Toss and other things, which precision attack cannot do. So I think that's a really nice add to this build. And now at level 2, Quick Toss comes online, despite still attacking at disadvantage, because now we can cast Bless. In fact, we can cast Bless and Quick Toss in the same round to get a little attack bump on the net, and Bless also helps with our saves, and it buffs 2 other allies, so it's a pretty strong opening tactic. When we Quick Toss, if we miss, we can use Favored by the Gods to add a plus 2d4, on average plus 5 if we miss, and this again mathematically eliminates the penalty for attacking at disadvantage. So we can't do this all day long, we're only 2nd level, so we are only going to use this combo once per short rest. We are also adding at-will cantrips that will bolster our utility, our defense, our sustainability, and role-playing flavor. Mind Sliver as an additional ranged attack, but also an elite debuff to set up party casters. If a Battle Master notices that his ally in battle is having trouble sticking a Saber Suck, he's got their back. He also has Minor Illusion for tricksiness and the illusion of total cover. Battle Master wants cover, can't find it, he makes it. We are taking Dancing Lights for darkness because we have no dark vision, but also because we can create a tactical advantage by lighting up our enemies while the party remains in darkness. That means you can see them, they can't see you. That's bad news for the enemy and good news for the good guys. Dancing Lights does take concentration, but concentration isn't an issue for us because the only concentration thing that we have is Bless. The last cantrip I chose was Mold Earth, so that it can create defensive embankments and moats and such. Although do ask your DM if this affects regular ground, because the rules as written says it affects loose dirt. Personally, I think that loose dirt means you can move it with your hands and not a shovel, so that leaves out most dirt that you walk on. But I know that a lot of DMs disagree. I guess they think allowing their players to create total cover at will with a cantrip isn't overpowered, so talk to your DM. Regardless, I thought Mold Earth fit the theme here, and so I put it on there. Of course, we added Shield for a situational defense reaction, and Expeditious Retreat is a powerful maneuverability option to enable superior kiting and a whole bunch of other stuff that super fast movement is good for. So at 2nd level, we have added a huge boost to our versatility, adding better offense, defense, maneuverability, and utility. So I'm pretty happy with this so far. Moving on to level 3, not a great level for us. We had Action Surge, so we're better at what we do, but no tactical changes. At level 4, we officially become Battle Masters, even though we have been doing the Battle Master thing since the very beginning. But we add 3 new maneuvers. We get our full slate of superiority dice. I have assumed that we can afford to buy plate mail, and the maneuvers I've chosen are Precision Attack, Pushing Attack, and Menacing Attack. So Rally receives a pretty big bump with the additional superiority dice. We can now confer temporary hit points to every member of the party. And of course, we'll use our new maneuver situationally. I did consider trip attack here, because trip attack in isolation is one of the most powerful maneuvers there is. But don't forget, we are a net fighter. So we are going to be getting the restrain condition out of the net, which is better than the prone inferred by the trip attack. So while trip attack is a nice thing to also have in your back pocket, it's got enough redundancy here that I didn't want to add it yet. Do note that precision attack cannot be combined with quick toss. You can't use more than one maneuver per attack. At level 5, we got a proficiency bump, so up goes our passive perception, up goes our attack bonuses, up goes the relevant saves, and we are adding crossbow expert. We are starting to go along the progression, and I am using martial versatility to swap out our fighting style from superior technique to archery. Now that we've got our full Battle Master powers, we don't need superior technique anymore. And because we are net fighters, we want archery to get that +2 bump on our attack bonus. Now, I still like rally, and we are going to bring it back, but that was the one that I attached to superior technique, so it has to go away for the time being. So crossbow expert is a nice DPR bump by adding a consistent bonus action attack to complement quick toss. But more importantly, as we are net fighters, we no longer throw our net at disadvantage from 5 feet away. Because we no longer have that penalty for being adjacent, we are no longer penalized for fighting on the front line. Up until now, we pretty much had to hang back, and if someone got in our face, we had to pull out our rapier, which is suboptimal for us. But now, even if they get right up close, we can just stick them with the crossbow. Moving on to level 6, we get extra attack. So, big addition, very exciting, but no new tactical changes. So level 7 is a big level for us because we add sharpshooter. Sharpshooter means that we can now quick toss our net up to 15 feet away without having to attack at disadvantage. And we finally unlock the devastating crossbow expert plus sharpshooter plus precision attack combo. So let's talk about the fact that this build doesn't bring crossbow expert, sharpshooter, and precision attack combo online until level 7. Because the ideal DPR progression is crossbow expert at 1st level, precision attack at 3rd, sharpshooter at 4th, and +2 dex at 6th. So we didn't do that, which means that we lack a d6 +3 damage bonus attack from levels 1 through 3, and we lack a d6 +3 damage bonus attack that we can pump sharpshooter through at levels 4 through 6. And we lack a +1 bump to attacks and initiative from levels 6 through 14, because I don't add +2 dex until 15th level. So yeah, that is our deviation from the max DPR that a fighter can do. In exchange for this, we were Battle Masters from level 1, not level 3. We enjoy more versatility by adding 2 more battle maneuvers throughout our entire career. This allows me to add most of the good ones by 4th level and all of the good ones by 8th level. Plus, we added an extra superiority die, which enhances our durability and our sustainability. I hope it's not news that 5 superiority dice is better than 4. We also got an optimized elite bonus action net attack at 1st level. A net has huge impact in reliably imparting the restrain condition, and it's an unusual and creative attack, therefore a fun one, and only Battle Masters can pull it off sustainably with quick toss. So why not? Plus, we got Favored by the Gods, which is an elite buff to attacks and saves. Plus, we got a bunch of useful always-on cantrips and a few powerful utility spells at 2nd level. Bless in particular is useful at higher levels because the effect is elite at any level, given bounded accuracy, but ally caster concentration is too valuable for Bless at tier 2+. But ours is never that valuable because we can never do anything but concentrate on Bless or Dancing Lights. So even at high levels, we can throw down a Bless on ourselves and 2 of our allies, and that is always awesome. I don't care if you're 20th level, you never turn down a +D4 on your attacks or your saves. Personally, I find the sacrifice of baseline DPR to be well worth it in terms of versatility and playability. And if you disagree, you can play the same old fighter build over and over and over personally, that's not for me. Moving on to level 8, we get Know Your Enemy, and we add 2 more maneuvers in Rally and Trip Attack, and we get an additional superiority die. So now we have 6. So Rally is back. You guys know I love it. And I added Trip Attack, which is not as good as the net, but it is a decent backup option. It's got more range, and it's a fantastic first option for flying enemies. So very happy to add Trip Attack. And we now have all of the good Battle Master maneuvers, and we are only level 8. Thanks, Martial Adept. Moving on to level 9, we get another proficiency bump, so all of the relevant scores rise, and we add Lucky. I did consider +2 dex here, but Lucky is amazing. It stacks with Favored by the Gods and Bless, and it's basically like adding an early Indomitable, except, you know, way, way better. I mean, if you haven't clued into the fact that Lucky is the most powerful feat in the game, do be aware. It's borderline broken. My DM outlawed it, saying it was OP, and then I looked at it and I was like, okay, I got it, I get it. Moving on to level 10, we add Indomitable. Not a great level for us, no new tactical changes. And then we get to level 11, and not a huge change, but it's really nice because our superiority dice upgrade to D10s, including the baby D6 that we've been carrying around from Martial Adept. This is as per Jeremy Crawford, all of the superiority dice go to D10, and we add 2 new maneuvers. Goading Attack and Disarming Attack are okay. Goading Attack is like a worse version of Menacing Attack, but we're adding it because at this level a lot of things are starting to be immune to fear, and Disarming Attack could be cool and dramatic if you have the right situation. So why not? Moving on to level 12, we add Extra Attack ×2, so we're probably pretty happy, but no new tactical changes. At level 13, we get another proficiency bump, and I add Alert, because Alert is one of the best feats in the game and thematically appropriate for a Battle Master. I could have gone with plus Dex, but I decided not to, because I've been adding all sorts of crazy offense, and I want some defense, and I want Alert. And it makes sense that a Battle Master would have Alert. Would a Battle Master ever be surprised? I don't think so. Would a Battle Master have an advantage on initiative? Yes, I think so. And is a Battle Master going to know what to do when he can't see and still be a slippery little bugger? I think so. So I'm pretty happy to add Alert here. So if this were an actual character, this is where I would strongly consider dipping. We got our extra attack, we picked up that extra feat, and now it's going to be pretty much an unimpressive cookie-cutter progression going forward if we stick with the Battle Master. We do have the stats to allow for a switch into Rogue, Paladin, Bard, or Warlock, or we could add more Sorcerer levels. It's honestly too complex to consider in this video, but there are plenty of cool options here, and I recommend that you think about it because, again, you're really not going to be adding too much. You've got all of the Battle Master stuff that you really need at this point. And let's face it, you might not want to spend too much time thinking about this because only 2% of campaigns ever get this high. So it's probably not a decision that you're going to have to struggle with. Moving on to level 14, we add another instance of Indomitable, no new tactical changes. At level 15, I finally add +2 dex, otherwise no new tactical changes. At level 16, we get Relentless, we add Commanding Presence and Ambush, and we get an additional superiority die. So Commanding Presence and Ambush are badly rated maneuvers, but we already have all of the good ones. And we do have a pretty good charisma, so Commanding Presence might conceivably come in handy sometime in the interaction phase of the game. And Ambush? Hey, I'll never say no to an initiative bump. So, okay, let's do it. At level 17, I add +2 dex, but no new tactical changes. At level 18, we add another Action Surge and Indomitable, but no new tactical changes. At level 19, our superiority dice bump to D12s, but no new tactical changes. And finally, at level 20, I add Tough to give us a little hit point bump, and no new tactical changes. So that's it. That's my take on the Battle Master. Really fun character to play, it looks like, so I'm pretty happy with this. Get some really cool options and abilities at level 1, And each level you keep getting really cool stuff, becoming a better and better Battle Master. I think it holds up in terms of the damage for the most part, and what it loses before level 7 is made up for by its versatility and all of the other things he can do to help the party and impact the battle. So I like it, but let me know what you think in the comments, and we can figure this out if I kind of screwed anything up, but I do like this. So thanks for watching. This has been the Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Power Gamers Tactics Room. I'm your host, Bilbron Battle Master. See you next time.